What is going on, guys? Alright, this may sound really crazy, but I got the craziest trade of the year happening. And that is, in a couple days, and maybe even a week or two from now, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to trade Jameis Winston and the first pick, and maybe a couple other picks, to the Steelers, and in return, they're going to get the best running back in the league and Le'Veon Bell. And a lot of you guys may be saying, Tasty, that's a long shot. That's never going to happen. But if you take a couple minutes of your time and just let me explain and give you some key points, maybe I can persuade you to actually coming on board with this and saying this could actually happen. Maybe not, but I hope I do change your mind. So please spend a couple minutes of your time, and I'm going to explain why. I'm going to try and make this as short as possible. So if the video is long, I do apologize, but we're going to try and make it as short as possible. So reason number one is, you guys obviously know, Fitzpatrick is doing amazing. 2 weeks in, he beat the Saints, which actually they're my Super Bowl pick right now. They definitely have a really dangerous offense. I know the Browns almost beat them, but they're definitely, everyone has bad games. Definitely, probably have the best offense in the league. I'm telling you, they are an insane team. Definitely have to watch out for them. Then you got the Eagles, who won the Super Bowl in 2018. So they're 1-1. Fitzpatrick came in, beat them. So no one predicted the Bucs, except for us Bucs fans, for this to happen. Everyone said we're gonna go 2-14 and that's it. I said nope, we're gonna win the first 2 games of the season. So and I'm on point so far. But Fitzpatrick obviously is doing really good. He even broke an NFL record for most. I forgot what it was. I think he got 400 yards and 4 touchdowns back-to-back games, which I could be wrong, but I don't think a quarterback has ever done that before. Then the Bucs have never been good in a decade, so he's doing good. We've never been started the season 2-0 since 8 years. We've never made it to the playoffs in 10 years. So he's coming in and he's tearing it up. So you may actually want to think about it and bring him in. But he is 35 years old. Next year he's going to be 36 years old. And you look at it, you have Winston, who's only 24. He's really young. So so if you really think about this, you got next year Fitzpatrick's going to be 36. So it's like, do you leave Fitzpatrick in? Probably going to end up retiring or not being as good next year. And let's say the Bucs do end up like not even making the playoffs. Or maybe they will. They'll probably lose in the wild card or divisional round. They're not going to make it anything further than that. And Winston comes in the next year. That just makes no sense. If you're going to put him in, you have to win the Super Bowl. That's kind of what you're saying. Because he's getting old. Winston's your franchise quarterback. So if you're going to start Fitzpatrick, you might as well trade him. But the Bucs have so many good receivers. They are really young. They have so much talent on the team. Like Mike Evans, probably a top 5 receiver in the league. That's probably me being biased. But Deshaun Jackson, a lot of you guys never thought this guy existed last year. And he all of a sudden came out and is just tearing it up. And I'm going to tell you why. Because Winston could never hit the deep ball. I'm telling you, last year, when I was watching the Bucs, and Winston was in, there was so many times Jackson was open or someone was open, and Winston would always overthrow it. Other than that, he could hit perfect passes, but he could never hit the deep ball. So Fitzpatrick comes in and all of a sudden hits the deep ball, and everyone on red zone's watching, saying, wow, Fitzpatrick's tearing it up. But one of our most dangerous weapons is we're really good with the deep ball, and we have very scary weapons. So now Fitzpatrick can hit the deep ball. That's a big up, because that's what we dominate at. Well, you got Winston, who can't hit the deep ball. So then you got Godwin, which is probably he's a rising star. He's probably gonna replace Deshaun Jackson. because Deshaun Jackson's getting old, so he's only going to be playing for like another year or two. Then he's going to be out of the league. Or maybe on a new team, but like I said, he's going to be too old. Right now he's doing good, but he's still pretty old, so Godwin's probably going to take his place and be number 2. You got O.J. Howard, who was probably supposed to be a top 5, maybe top 10 pick in the 2017 draft, but he fell 19th pick overall. I think it was 19th, but he ended up going to us, the Bucs. So that was a big draft steal, and he's supposed to be a beast tight end, and he's doing good. He's making a lot of big plays. Then you got Cameron Bright, which hasn't done anything this year, but last year he's actually really solid. Definitely a monster on the field. Can come on, catch everything. Hasn't had really any targets because O.J. Howard's taken his place. So when we play single back, he is on the plays. But if Winston did come back, he's going to get a lot of targets because Evans and Winston are his favorites. Then with Fitzpatrick and Jackson and Howard are kind of his 2 favorites. But that's not the point. Those 5 they could go to any team. Or let's say they go a bad team. They could go any bad team and be the best player, because they have such young receivers. But the Bucs need a running back. They're so good at passing, but they cannot run the ball to save their lives. Peyton Barber, in the past 2 weeks, I know it's only 2 weeks and there's a lot of football left, but 2 weeks, he's had 35 carries for 91 yards, 0 touchdowns, 1 reception, and he's averaging 2.6 yards a carry. And if you just look at those stats, that's not good. Now, a lot of it might have to do with the line, but good running backs don't need a good line. Like, for example, Barry Sanders, he had an awful line, and he was still one of the best. Same thing with Bell. Bell doesn't need a line. Bell can come in, and he can just be solid, even with Tampa's line. Because that's one of the things the Bucs don't have. They don't have a running back or a line, but their weapons are scary. Then, with the pass rush, and with the pass and run game going. Like I said, the Buccaneers pass is so scary. A lot of teams are really going to be afraid of this coming up, especially in the Monday night game coming up. But we can't get a run game going. So let's say if we get a run game going, that would be very, very scary, because all we can do is pass it. But like I said, you get Bell and get like 4 or 5 yards of carry, can break out for a big run, that's going to be huge. So like I said, and another reason why is we'd rather pay, honestly, in my opinion, I'd rather pay Bell than Winston. Because like I said, Winston's in this contract year, so it's like, are you going to pay him or not? I'd rather pay Le'Veon Bell, and I'm sure the Steelers would rather pay Winston. And that probably is false, but yeah. Alright, so another one is Winston also has off-the-field issues. That's another reason we'd rather want to pay Bell. Now, Bell has had, sometimes he's got suspended, but Winston's had a lot worse issues. A lot of things, he's been charged with rape and all that, which is similar to some Steelers players. Then, Winston, and after watching Winston, he needs a good team to be good. Now, I know you guys may be saying that's kind of crazy. He was drafted first pick, so he was on the worst team, of course. But honestly, we have such good weapons. If you actually watch a lot of it, Winston forces it way too much, and he kind of hits the good passes. Then his receivers make the big play, and that's kind of what I've looked at. Because all of our receivers could come in and make a crazy catch, even if it's a bad pass. So that's another reason. If you put Winston on like a bad team with no weapons, he's definitely going to struggle, which the Steelers have. So like I said, Fitzpatrick doing really good right now. You could put him in, and we have really strong weapons right now. So with our strong weapons, like I said, Fitzpatrick may be getting old, but he's average quarterback, maybe below average. But since we have good weapons, it's making him look good. So we could sign a alright quarterback next year and make him look good. So I told you the reason for the Bucs. Now I'm going to tell you the reason for the Steelers, why they should make this trade. Now, right now, Le'Veon Bell is holding out right now, obviously. Probably going to hold out all year. He wants his money, and the Bucs can definitely pay for him. So, like I said, instead the Steelers could use him for draft picks. They need material out of him. They could definitely trade him for draft picks and draft some young talent. They wouldn't have to pay him, of course. And right now they have James Conner, which is actually looking like a stud. They're giving him a lot of carries. He's tearing it up right now. So why bring Bell back and sign him when you have James Conner that's tearing it up? They're bound to trade him. And another reason, you guys may doubt me here, but in my opinion, the Steelers franchise is ending. Let's just be honest. With Big Ben getting old, they need a young quarterback in Jameis Winston, which Winston can learn from him. Yes, he can learn from him. And we've seen it with Patrick Mahomes learning from Alex Smith. We've seen Aaron Rodgers do it with Brett Favre. But he can learn from him. And definitely come in, because he's only 24 years old. He forces a lot, but like I said, Big Ben could save him. He could definitely show him what he needs to do, just like how Aaron Rodgers did with Brett Favre. And with the Bengals, Browns and Ravens are actually looking solid. Bengals are 2-0 right now. Browns, they tied with the Steelers, and they almost beat the Saints, so they're looking pretty strong. They actually have a pretty solid team. They're getting up there. It might take a couple more years, but they're building with Baker Mayfield. They're looking actually pretty solid. Bengals, I like their offense. Mixon's looking solid. AJ Green, they have Boyd, Eifert. They look really solid. Then, like I said, Winston could be the face of this franchise. Steelers, like I said, he could have Jameis Winston come in for the Steelers because, like I said, I know it sounds crazy, but Big Ben's getting old. He's not going to be able to play forever. So instead, why not put in Winston, who's only 24, that could learn from Ben Roethlisberger? You could pay him instead, because like I said, when Roethlisberger contract ends, you could put in Winston. With Winston and Brown, that'd be a deadly combo. And with Winston, like I said this a lot, but Winston could definitely learn from him and all of that. But they've dealt with issues off the field. Because like I said, Big Ben had the similar experience to Winston. You had not Mike Evans, sorry. You had Bell, who's also gotten suspended, like I said. I think he did drugs. Then you have Martavius Bryant, who also gets suspended. So it's kind of like it's not really going to bother the Steelers with Winston's off-the-field issues. So that's kind of my opinion. I don't know what you guys want to think on that, but I think this trade could happen. Kind of crazy. Tell me if you're a Steelers fan. Would you like to have Winston? Like I said, Winston might not play for another couple of years because you got with Big Ben to get injured or retire or go to a new team. But yeah, I think this trade could very well happen because they could get draft picks out of it. They could get a new quarterback. Well, the Bucs have a big running back they can definitely use to get a scary run game going, and they could definitely be Super Bowl contenders. While the Steelers are rebuilding around Winston, Antonio Brown, really young team, and that's what I think. So I hope you guys enjoy. Tell me what you think in the comments below. And yeah, bye.